old Max, but we saw that Jin Air made this lane work extraordinarily well. They're just going to go for safety, and up against Tahm Kench Caitlyn, you're going to need as much of it as you can get because Teddy's going to be brutal on that bottom side.
The worry that you have now is that it's not a counter pick, it's a strong lane into Tahm Kench. Tarek lanes very well into other melee matchups, so while it's a safe Tarek and you think, okay, team fight baby, let's go, Zac and Cho'Gath in the front line, what if there never is a team fight? Because there is going to be lane priority in multiple lanes again for Jin Air. It is a winning Caitlyn lane heavily in this particular scenario. The Ryze does have a good laning phase against Azir, but it's not lopsided in terms of pressure. And then Skarner rolls around, the first couple of Impales work, and you never get the true 5v5. So MVP, take the information and choose to double down on 5v5. I would have reinforced bot lane laning phase, because that can definitely trip you up when it's Teddy and Wraith, and especially Teddy on the Caitlyn.
Yeah, and it's so much more important now in this meta as well, where winning lanes feel like a great idea. And having advantages anywhere. Pressure is so well utilized now on 8.4. Ian will have an opportunity to gain that. We know that in the Ryze Azir matchup, it can go both ways depending on the players, but Ryze, you know, will most of the time be able to pull out ahead. And yes, you're right, it is a strong bottom lane, but we don't know whether it's strong enough here from MVP. But the comp does look so much more standard. They're not trying the gimmicks like they did in game number 1. Let's see what happens as we move into game number 2.
On the way.
Yeah, wants to try and get a stun, but the snare's going to come in from Ian. A lot of damage going down as the flash comes in, but beyond, he lands the arm, smacks them together as Grace turns up, and actually means the death for his jungler, Jin Air. Gonna fall first blood at 3 minutes.
Bit of a weird exit plan coming through.
Oh no, Ian! This is the Ian we've learnt about recently, and Grace has to flash under his turret.
Feels so bad for Grace, has cleanse not heal because of the matchup. Could have been much safer from Umti. He could have just flashed over the wall. Trundle had lane pressure and
side of the map, the side where things could really become a problem for MVP. The flash comes in from Max, but he doesn't find it. Pilot comes down, Wraith is going to be the target, eats the grey health, the satchel charge is there, but not enough. Max picks up the kill in the end as Ian still putting in damage onto Teddy. Man, having a red buff on a Ryze early game feels snowball and be given the gift of Infernal Drake.
Predator popped on the top side. This is optimistic, but could happen.
Yeah, got the subjugate going down. Good double knock-up with the Rupture, but can they actually get anything done? Impale comes in at basically the right time, but good flash timing from ADD. He's getting a lot of his health back as Umti under the turret. Could be in trouble. Another Rupture positioned perfectly, and ADD just won't die! He gets out of the way of the Skarner, and they pick up the kill. No kills at all for Jin Air as now Beyond pulls back so on. He's dead. The Zac gets a kill. It's a disaster for Jin Air.
Yeah, top lane disaster. That's why they canceled the attempt bot lane. They saw something like this coming. Top lane, they fully commit, and both of the Ruptures were picture perfect from the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath mechanics, very rarely something we talk about outside the very easily with the Cho'Gath Feast.
Not to mention Tristana's damage, who's going to be able to spread it around among potentially Baroned up minions in the late game if they ever worry about that, as Sohan's going to go on to ADD. He's super tanky as another Rupture comes down. The silence is there, but I don't think the Cho'Gath can tank it this time. Devour's going to secure it, and with 3 members invested on the top side of the map, MVP suffer their first loss of the game.
But it's just a kill. It just prevents the perfect game because Jin Air aren't going to be able to pile on. They knew that the rest of the team was rotating top side. Ian's significant mistake around Baron.
Well, Beyond is going to discover Wraith here. He gets jumped on. Pilot's going to come down. Rocket Jump is there, but he just wants to focus on the turret. Objectives are the idea. As we are 2 minutes away from Baron spawning, MVP, we know that they have their eyes set on that one. Ian's going to come down. He moves hella fast as the Rune Prison's there. Sohan just nowhere he can go whatsoever. Unless he can go up. See whether he can actually do this, but the slow's going to come in from the Vorpal Spikes and he'll be fine. ADD is going to be able to help pick that one up, but a lot of vision. Their own jungle is Umti, exactly the player you didn't want to get caught. And Max is right there to pick him up after the flash.
Yeah, I don't understand why Umti is trying to contest vision when 2 members of his team are on the other side of the wall also contesting vision. Can't get vision everywhere. They did not know where the enemy team was. Ban will be started, and I think Jin Air have a pretty good idea this is happening, but no ability to answer.
Yeah, Max is actually gaining health. He was tanking that one.
Damage on the other members, including the Cho, at this point in the game.
And this is just such genius. Using that banner of command early, not waiting for the Baron buff, means that this bottom wave is going to be shoving in. They're going to lose an inhibitor because it's just going to keep pushing. It was already shoving.
It's even worse. They lost to Trundle. He has to go and answer it early.
Yeah.
And the moment they see that, even more options available at MVP. He's into the vision line right now. Now, he can answer it a lot better than other meta top laners because he does physical damage. MVP don't start the Baron. They're continuing to bait.
Yeah, we've got a Realm Warp available here for Ian if he wants to get in amongst it, as Rupture doesn't find any targets. Pilot, Peacemaker almost connecting as well. Would have been half health for the Trist. Only has that Vampiric Scepter, the Fleet Footwork, in order to give him some of his health back, as at least now he can hit the Baron. Realm Warp comes down. They want to try and get on top of the members of Jin Air, and the Devour comes in, but Wraith, can he actually save Teddy? He does, but it's Umpty that's going to pay the price. Grace from over the wall can't get as much work done as he'd otherwise. He is here from the fight, and they've still got a bannered up minion shoving forward. MVP going to be able to break the base now, despite the fact that ADD just threw his life away.
Yeah, but mistakes under pressure. You could say the same thing about Grace. Gives up his life bar. Trying to make a secondary play when the rest of his team is backing away, but here we go.
Yep, trying to catch out Ian. He's so tanky though as In goes beyond once again. Teddy, he's able to pick off the rise. A lot of the power on this team, but Pilot, he's very healthy. Beyond's going to go down to his passive and taken out. And Jin Air, they're stalling this one nicely.
Oh dear.
God, is it happening, Bubba Smithy?
We were definitely getting a Fiesta. That should have been a lot more straightforward. ADD giving up his whole health bar and dying. I assume Flash was on cooldown. It's available now, but assume it was on cooldown because it's died in one rotation. They're going to give up an Infernal as well. That was not the clean execution that people were looking for. They were over 10,000 gold ahead when they made that play, and yet...
Good Rupture onto Teddy. Can't answer these minions as MVP. They're playing scared, but they're at least able to get these objectives and continue pushing in.
Jin Air will find it hard to engage until the terrain really suits them, which is under the double turrets.
Yep, so on, taking a lot of damage. In goes Beyond now. Cosmic Radiance is there, and they do manage to get it onto 3. Wraith taking a lot of damage. Pilot, lots of backline threat that wasn't able to be answered. Thankfully, ADD eats up the ace in the hole. Oh God, Grace, massive damage comes in. Emperor's Divide now, as well as the Cho'Gath has nowhere to go. And Jin Air, they're finally able to answer. Max was somewhere off doing his own thing, and MVP have just been sloppy in some of these cases.
They definitely have, Atlas. Jin Air has somehow been allowed to get to 6-item territory on patch 8.4. By far the patch stacked against. Well, let's get behind our AD carry at 6 items. It's going to happen anyway. We get the replay. The start of it's well engineered by MVP. They go in, they use the ultimate, but Pilot has to disengage off Teddy. He starts to walk up. 1 for 0 at the start, but the big problem comes for Pilot, who's in the backline as Grace just pokes a Sand Soldier onto him. No one's around. He tries to flash away and dies to a single auto. This would not have happened 20 minutes ago when there weren't items on the carries to actually threaten. Stinger came at like 15 minutes into the game for the Azir in game 1. That's not going to be relevant now. 6 items about to be reached by Grace. Zonia seems to be his last.
Find a target, and the peel off once again for MVP. Good positioning from Pilot as the static shift does a lot of damage. And the Pillar actually doing work as, oh my God, kidnaps what he can, but he's still going to be put down to the Bloblets. And look at this, Grace just zoning with the Sand Soldiers. And now the Baron is just going to be taken beyond. No, he steals it! Oh my God, now the team fight is going to erupt. Redemption comes down. It's doing damages now. MVP finding the team fight they were looking for. Sowan's going to be an afterthought as Grace shoves it back into Teddy and he picks up a double. Can he get more? I don't think so, as Sowan trying to avoid Ian and Max. The last one's going to come down. Ian's going to grab it. It's still beautiful for MVP.
We'll hold off on the patch notes though, because it's Elder's at 5,000.
Yep, Cosmic Radiance is there as the Kidnap is actually going to come in as well. Beyond, sorting them out in the middle of the backline, gets the knockheads, as well as Pilot being able to now rain down the damage. Teddy not able to auto-attack, and that's a dead Umpty. Double kill comes in for Ian. MVP, they peel off the Dragon, but they get the kills that they want as Teddy and Wraith. Can they actually get past this big tank line? It looks like no is going to be the answer.
And it's going to interrupt as the game is won by MVP. We're watching the yakety sax in full effect as ADD is just saying, I'm pretty tanky.
Yeah, he's sitting in front of a blast.
Nothing they can do. No recourse happening. We're just AFKing on the side as the mini-map, or the mini picture-in-pictures where the action's happening.
Abyssal Voyage as Wraith is going to turn up, but yep, there's the Nexus falling down. And we've got a 1-1 series between MVP and Jinair.
And patch 8.4 eventually does its job and stops the comical stall that could happen with Azir and Caitlyn. So the thumbs up to Riot Games when it comes to actually allowing games to end. That would not have happened on patch 8.3. On 8.4, you have to contest the Elder. You definitely can consider contesting a 40-minute Baron. I love the play at the end that was largely not going to be caught. Beyond started channeling his Let's Bounce during the Realm Warp